Just before my camera records, it does a bright orange flash in my eye. Very off-putting. This video is about a child I babysit, and she's absolutely hilarious and adorable and very defiant of her parents. She reminds me of me when I was that age. I think she's about 5 now, but at the time that these stories took place, I think they all happened when she was about 3. One of them was when she was 4. I'll go in chronological order of what I'm sure is chronological order. Her mum is a teacher, and her mum had a friend over who was also a teacher, and they were sat in the kitchen, teachers, sheesh, talking, and this child comes in, and she has her duvet wrapped around her. She plonks herself down on the floor and she says, "Guess what I am?" I said, "Oh, are you an ocean?" And she said, "No." And they said, "Are you an animal?" She said, "Yes, yes." Oh, she's very definite about that. She's an animal. So, you know, her duvet's great. They're like, "Are you a donkey?" "No." Are you a duck?" Because they really didn't know what she was. So they're guessing all these creatures, and turtle. Oh, she's got to be a turtle. This is wrapped around her, and she's looking at them like with this wrapped around her, and she's getting more frustrated. And are you a turtle? Are you a rabbit? Are you a fox? Are you? And she goes, "I'm a volcano." Yes, you are. Second story about this child. Her family go to church, and at the end of one service, she'd been listening really intently, and this is on account of her mum. Her mum has told me this. And they were walking to the car, and the vicar stood at the door, and he says bye, and they say bye, and she says bye. She's young, her voice is high. Bye. And she gets to the car, and mum's put her in the car seat. She says, "Mummy, who's that?" She says, "Who?" And she looks over at the vicar. She goes, that. Who's that, Mummy? And she says, "That's Paul the vicar." Paul the vicar? Your name's Paul. You don't want to be a vicar, do you? Anyway, Paul the vicar. And she says, "Oh. So that's not God." "No, love, that's not God. That's Paul the vicar." She's very cute. The third story is she just started preschool, and preschool is preschoolers before school, and the idea of preschool is you learn things in said classes that you will need in school. So she used to get given lists of words, and they'd all be related things. So one time it was sometimes, often, never. So she'd always use her daddy in the examples, and she said, "Oh, my daddy often takes us to the park. My daddy sometimes takes us to the park. My daddy never takes us to the park." So they're the kind of words that she does. And one week the theme was plants. It wasn't plants, it was insects. Might edit that out. You got to use insects. Okay, my daddy's a ladybird. Standard. Caterpillar. My daddy is a caterpillar. Aphid. My daddy is a fid. Aphid. Yes, my daddy is a fid. The word's aphid. Yes, my daddy is a fid. No, your daddy is an aphid. That's what I said! My daddy is a fid! Daddy's a fid. Whatever. This is some strong-powered 4-year-old right here. But, yeah, I don't really know how to round that story off, apart from the fact that she thinks her daddy's a fid. Her daddy is not a fid. Her daddy is an aphid. He's not. He's a human. Otherwise, I'd be babysitting. Like, I think aphid are larvae, aren't they? Only human children, occasionally dogs. That's not babysitting, that's dog sitting. More to the story. That child is hilarious, and I hope that she continues to be funny as she grows up, and I hope that one day she will be told these stories and go, just like I did when I put those stories from the last video together in my head, and I just went, such a stupid kid. Bit dazzled. Just before my camera records, it flashes a bright orange light in my eye, being watched very suspiciously by my cat as well, so the pressure's too much. I pressed record and I didn't know if it was recording, and now I know that it is.